All right, y'all, I got a crazy story for you. This is one of the several times when I thought I was going to die. I was in the Bahamas scuba diving, came up, expecting the boat to be there, and it wasn't there. I'm like, no, wait, is this real? Is there a boat? Where's the boat? Where the hell's the boat? And the things that pop through your mind, like, oh my God, I'm floating away. I'm going to get eaten by sharks. It's crazy shit. But yeah, obviously I didn't die, so, listen to the rest of the story, rest of the video, and find out what happened. You'll like it. And if you want to hear some more crazy stories about my life and my travels and my adventures, be sure to subscribe. Give this video a like. All right, so the backstory, here's what happened. I was traveling with my girlfriend and her family, and her cousin was a dive master, and he used to go on this live aboard sailboat once a year to the Bahamas. You live aboard for like a week, scuba dive all the time, drink beer, party, whatever. Cool. Seemed like a cool thing. So, hey, I didn't know how to scuba dive, so got to learn how to scuba dive. So, I'm not near an ocean, so did my training, learned in a swimming pool, got certified in a rock quarry, very clear water, very calm, very cold, and in the middle of the country, and sweet. All right, so finally I'm certified, ready to go on this scuba diving trip, and we leave from Miami. And we're going to sail across to Bimini. It's about a 50-mile trip, 8 to 10 hours in the seas, and you have to cross the Gulf Stream. And they're like, well, it can get a little bit rough. I'm like, okay, cool. So we're hanging out, we're partying, it was okay. And then all of a sudden, yeah, we get in the Gulf Stream and it got nasty. It got really nasty. 8, 10, 12-foot seas, and we're just boom, boom. The boat's just going up like this. It's like a 60-foot sailboat. It's not tiny, but it's not an ocean liner by any means, so we're just getting killed. Everybody, and I mean everybody, is vomiting off the side of the boat, crew included, captain included, dive master included. Everybody's just hanging off the side of the boat, just puking. It was nasty, and a few of us got to lay down after we're done puking, and you're just just going through the seas, and boom, your head just pops back off the bunk, and it's fucking miserable, But eventually we made it. Whatever it was, 8, 10 hours, I don't remember for sure. No sleep. Where everybody's sick, and then we get to like, hey, it's time for our first dive. Okay, great. I'm feeling like crap anyway. And it's a drift dive. If you don't know what a drift dive is, the boat drops you off because there's a very strong current. Normally you go dive and you go down, you go swim around, you come back up, you follow the anchor line up, and you get on the boat, and that's that. But a drift dive, you jump off and you drift down to the current, and the current was pretty strong there. I think it was like 3, 4, 5 knots, and that's more than you could swim through, And so I'm like, okay, I don't really know how to do this. I think I know how to do this. So I'm there with my girlfriend. We dive in, and I know the what I learned in dive class is how to navigate. And when you're going to be something like that, you'll do like whatever it is, 10, 20 kicks. You'll go kicks this way, and then kick to the right, and then kick the same kicks back, and the same kicks across, and so you're making a big square, and you come up basically right where the boat is. Okay, cool. Of course in my head I'm like, well, there's a current here, so it's gonna be harder to kick into the current, so I'm gonna have to adjust this, and I don't have a formula for this, so I'm like, okay, I'll figure it out. So I kick, I go, me and my girlfriend we're there, and we're going together, and we take our right turn. We're looking at the reef, and we're looking at the fish and everything, and we come back, and it's like we're there at the anchor. I'm like, well, it seems like we're both looking at our regulators, and I mean not regulators, but our computers, and we got plenty of air. So we're like, okay, cool, let's just go. And obviously you can't talk underwater, so we're doing hand signals, and let's go a little bit further. So okay, we go a little bit further, and then we're like, well, we better turn around, looking at our air and everything, and we start kicking back, and the current is stronger there somehow than it was the rest of the part we were diving. So we're kicking, and we're kicking, and we're kicking, and we're kicking, and pushing really, really hard, and we're not making a lot of progress, I don't think. I mean, you can see the coral, and you can sort of see that you're going very slowly, and we're kicking, and she starts motioning to me that she's running out of air because she's really working hard, and I think I'm a little bit better shape than her, and I still had plenty of air left, so I'm like, okay, sure. And so she shows me her meter. I'm like, oh shit, yeah, you are getting low. So we have to start surfacing. So when you're scuba diving, you have to do a safety stop, which is a time to let the nitrogen decompress and come out of your system. If not, you'll get the bends, which I'm sure a lot of people have heard about. It's not a good thing, not something you want to get. So we have to get to 15 to 20 feet, and you kind of surface there and hang out, and then you have to sit there for 3 minutes. Well, 3 minutes in a current when you're not swimming, of course, I'm not really thinking of it as the time, but you're drifting further and further and further and further away from the boat. Okay, and like, yeah, didn't really think about that. But anyway, what are you gonna do, right? And so we pop up. We feel like, okay, it's done. We've done our 3 minutes. Let's go. We come to the surface and it's like, fuck, where's the boat? Like, is this surreal? It's like, where's the boat? It's like, it's got to be around here somewhere. And, we're just, and it's just like I don't know why. It's just a head trip. It's like, because you expect something to be there. You expect a boat to be there to let you get back on and, not die. So there's no boat. I'm like, fuck, we're screwed. And then, we don't know what to do. And she's kind of panicked. She's like, well, I don't have that much air left. I'm like, all right, well, like, this is the way we know it is. So, I mean, let's just kick. So let's go dive under, and we start going and we start, maybe 10 feet on the surface again. And we're just kicking. We think we are working hard. Hopefully we're making good progress. And we come up and it's like, we're not anywhere. There's no boat. We're still no boat. And I'm like, fuck, okay. I don't remember what the waves were exactly. 2 feet, maybe something like that. High enough that, you can't see above them. So to see above the waves, you have to do kick, and you have to kick high. And then that's what I did. Eventually I kicked really high and I see the boat was like that big. It's a good half mile away. And I'm like, we're fucked. I mean, like, we cannot swim against this current, right? So I was like, but what are we going to do? I mean, like, we're all doing this and we're like, hey, yeah, yelling at the top of our lungs, and just hear this little bit of a music in the background. They're just on the boat. They're just partying and they're dancing and all this. And it's like, they're not looking for us. It's like, are they going to notice that we're missing? Are they just going to party? And it's like, are they just going to take off and forget that we're gone? I mean, there are these little things you put with your name, and you're supposed to, when you come on the board, when you go off the boat, you put your name there, and then when you come back on, you put it back. So before they leave, they're supposed to check that everybody's back on the boat. But it's like, we don't know. I mean, we're just out there in the ocean, starting to get like, okay, this is not going well. And then you go between like panicking, like, holy fuck, we're gonna die, and we're gonna drift out the ocean, and we're gonna get eaten by sharks. And then the other part of you, your rational, is like, all right, but I gotta fight this. I gotta fight this. And my girlfriend was just freaking out a little bit more than me, and she was like, holy shit, we're gonna make it. And I'm like, let's keep it calm. Panicking does no good, right? You've got to keep your head about you. And so I was like, let's just swim on the surface. Just do the best we can and get there. And she's like, I don't have my snorkel. You don't? What the fuck? You don't have your snorkel? I mean, didn't you learn? I mean, we went through scuba diving class together. You're supposed to have your snorkel all the time. She's like, well, I didn't think I'd need it. Of course, she needed it. So she doesn't have enough air. She's out of air. She can't, swim underneath the water. She can't swim on top of the water. So I'm like, what the fuck do we do? So I'm thinking, how can I get us there? So I kind of grab her, it's called a BC, her jacket, it keeps everything attached to you, and I grab her, and I'm like thinking I'm going to do some sort of a lifeguard swim or something. So I'm trying to kick, and pull, you just can't really do that because you're kicking each other and your legs, and you're hitting it. It's like, this ain't working. We ain't making any progress. So we just start yelling and screaming and like, freaking out. And it's like, okay, keep it together. It's like, what are we going to do? But then, I don't know, I think I'd heard some stories about, about some guys getting lost at sea and drifting and all this stuff. And I probably heard this stuff. So it's kind of going through your mind, and somehow, I don't remember exactly what, but one of the guys in the boat was like, yeah, there's nothing between here and, South America, before we got off the boat. I'm like, well, shit, here we go, sailing to Venezuela or whatever. I was like, I just think we're just gonna die. And then we just kept going back and forth, like, let's kick, let's just keep trying, and then there's a reservation part. You're like, oh, we're dead, we're gonna die. Well, anyway, we didn't die. We see like this a little bit. There's like a little glimmer of something going on over there at the boat, and I'm like, what? We're kicking up as high as we can, and I took off my fin, and I'm like trying to wave that. Of course, my fin's black, so nobody's gonna see black in the in the black ocean. It's like, well, shit. Wish I would have had those bright blue or bright green or orange, red fluorescent fins. It's like, oh, I can note this up. So anyway, I'm still kicking and trying to wave, and again, it's like, I think there's somebody coming out in the little boat, like the little Zodiac inflatable boats. Yeah, there was a guy coming. One guy, and I'm like, holy shit! And it's just like, we're not gonna die. But it was the same thing. It was like, are we? Is he coming for us, or is he doing something else? Because it didn't look like he was really coming straight for us. It looked like he was kind of zigzagging here and there, and I'm like, is he coming? They're coming. In one of these situations, like, it's taken forever and ever. And I mean, really, it was probably 5 minutes for him to get to us. But I mean, by then we're a good mile away from the boat, and and again, now it's even an eighth of an inch. It's like all you can see, and it's just so far away. It was like, I don't know. We're gonna go. We're gonna die. Anyway, he comes, he gets us, and we're like, oh my god, we're freaking out. Oh my god, thank you for coming. And he's like, yeah, cool, whatever, come on. And I was like, he has no clue that how freaked out we are. And I mean, he's a dive professional. I guess they do this every week, and who knows? They probably rescued dozens of people, or who knows? But he didn't seem to think anything about it. And we're spent. I mean, we're cold, and we're scared, we're shaking. Both of us are just sitting there in a little boat, and we're just freaked out mentally and exhausted, just like breathing heavy and dizzy, and it was like you want to vomit. It was freaking horrible. And we get on the boat, and some of our friends and family were like, "Hey, what's up? How you doing?" And they're drinking beer and partying. And it's like, you guys have no clue how freaked out we are. You have no idea. Like we seriously thought we were dead, and we're like, God, we thought we were dead. And they're like, "Yeah, it's cool. Here, have a beer." And it's like, it's the sort of thing you can't really explain unless you've lived through it. You can't say, hey, you know what it means? Like, hey, thought we were going to die and get eaten by sharks and all this. But, anyway, they just kind of sit there, and we just sat there. I mean, literally, she and I just sat there in the boat and just like freaking out, just shaking. And it took, it took probably an hour or two to chill and to calm down. But man, it was crazy. It was crazy. So, anyway, you think, okay, some lessons that I've learned. What did I get out of this? Like, okay, what am I going to do? First thing, always take your snorkel. I mean, seriously, always take your. You never know when you're going to need it, and a lot of times you don't need it, but when you need it, you really need it. Another thing I thought is, don't go beyond your abilities. Know what your abilities are. There's no playing around. In scuba diving, you can die. A lot of it's beautiful. I mean, it's amazing. It's incredibly rewarding, and to be there with the fishes and see the corals and all the marine life, but you're 5 seconds away from death. Your equipment malfunctions, or you do something or accident like this, you can die. So you can't take it as a joke. And the third thing I got is get some safety equipment. So as soon as I got back to land, I bought this little safety kit, which is like a little mesh bag. You put it in one of your pockets in your BC. It had a whistle, and it had I think they call it a dive sausage. It's about like 3 feet long. It's fluorescent orange, and you just blow it up, and it makes a big balloon, and then you can wave it when you're out, if you ever happen again. And then it also came with a glow sticks in case you're out at night, and you pop the glow stick and you put it inside the sausage, and then then it glows. So it's like that's that's some really cool things that I got out of it. And even to put a final end to the story, we got back, and like 2 weeks later, we learned that the dive master on our boat, I believe the guy's name was John, he was dead. He would free dive. We'd be out there scuba diving, sometimes 50 feet down, and he'd free dive, which means just holding your breath. That's what free diving is. No equipment, no nothing, and it's an amazing skill to control your body and go beyond your limits. And he would be down there snorkeling not snorkel, but free diving under rocks and caves and all kinds of crazy shit. And we were like, that guy's nuts. And I free dived to 15, 20 feet, but this dude took it too far, and he did take it too far. They said he just floated up next to the boat, and he was dead. So, yeah, the ocean is no joke. Water is no joke. You can drown in a lake. You can drown in a bathtub. Anyway, I lived. It was a good story. Got a ton more stories. Lots and lots of stories of things that happened to me around the world. So if you want to hear some more, be sure to like this video. Be sure to subscribe. Find out what's happening next. And, you don't want to miss it. Talk to you later.